Okay, I was in Dallas earlier this week, and I've got to tell you, I ran into someone who I've been, I would say, friends with. I feel like I've been friends with him, but I've never actually met him in person. So it was a little strange, but it was fun because I got to hang out with my good friend Alex Rosen. He joins us now. He is the man behind Predator Poachers, and he's on the road, of course, again. Alex, it was our first time hanging out in person, and it was an honor to finally get to meet you face to face. But we went to dinner, and those who were working there, as soon as they saw you, they noticed you. And at first I was like, folks, because they were like, hey, are you doing a sting? Are you doing a pedo sting? And I was like, no, 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 we're just friends. We're just having dinner. Because I didn't want them to think it was me that you were going after. So that was the good news, is we were able to clear that up real quick. But Alex, your supporters really do love you. And they were like hanging out. They wanted to talk to you about everything. So it was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, no, we have the best supporters. I mean, pretty much in every state we've gone to at this point, somebody said hi, and it's always been awesome and accommodating. So it's truly an honor to have them on board.
It's amazing. It's amazing to see people interact with you because, I mean, I'm sure for you, this like kind of started as like something that you were doing on the internet. You were just going out there catching these pedos, and now millions of people have seen your videos, and it's quite impressive. But Alex, I kind of want to turn to this story because, not only is like, I mean, that wasn't impressive by itself, but the work you're doing is impressive. That's kind of my pivot I was kind of go to. You just recently caught up with an individual who is now being accused of having nearly 400,000 child pornographic images on his devices. Caden Horton is his name. And this individual is now under arrest, obviously. But again, somebody who should have been taken off the streets by local law enforcement or the FBI, but you caught up with him and you've now put this into their hands. They're now prosecuting this individual. So tell us a little bit about him because nearly 400,000 child pornographic images is a lot of child porn.
Yeah, I can't even comprehend. I mean, out of all the phones I've gone through since 2019, just screenshotting chats of pedos, screenshotting their you know what's, I don't think I've reached even 100,000 photos. So I don't know how it's even possible to have 400,000 photos just across few devices. But anyway, so we found Cade on a dating app, which typically the ones on dating apps aren't loaded with child pornography like the ones on platforms are. But I noticed his profile photo on the dating app was the boy lover symbol, like the triangle symbol. So usually we don't do this, but we actually reached out to him first because I knew he was going to be loaded with child porn just based on that profile photo alone. So so anyway, we hit him up. We say we're a dad of a 13-year-old boy. I had my decoy with me in person, and he was all for it. The next day, he wanted to meet up. He was only 3,000 feet away from us, and he met up with who he thought was me playing as the dad and my decoy playing as a son, who did a great job. And then we dropped the ball on him. Me and Kyle Rittenhouse confront him. He admits to having hundreds of images of child pornography and says he was going to have sex with the kid, said he molested his own brother. And obviously, I always say whatever number they give you of child porn, always add two zeros to it. In this case, you could add a lot more than two zeros. So this was by far our biggest child pornography bust there was. And he's going to go to jail for a very long time. The case is going federal.
Well, that's the good news behind all of this because people like this need to be put behind bars. I mean, I'd probably advocate for a little bit more than just putting them in prison. But I mean, at this point, it's just so infuriating that this individual is just openly admitting to molesting his brother, having hundreds, but it's actually thousands of these images on their device. The level of boldness that they have is pretty disturbing in itself. But Alex, it's not just people like this that you're also catching. You recently caught up with an individual named Tony Rodriguez, and this person, oh my God. I'm like, I was listening to you because I'm obviously a member. I subscribe to you on locals and on Twitter. And so I get all your raw footage. And I'm like going through it. I'm like listening to how Tony, and we could say the word allegedly, of course, but Tony is trying to speak to one of your decoys and is thinking that he's just showing up to a library and he's talking to this young girl who obviously, based on her speech, sounds ridiculously young. And you confront him on this. Let's play a little clip from that, and then you tell us the backstory on it.
Okay, so at some point she told you that she was 11.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. It happens, man.
And
It's the internet.
honestly, she was claiming that she's homeschooled.
Hmm.
So I told her I could help her out with the like homework or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, of course.
Because my son's 11.
Oh, nice.
So when she was like, "Oh yeah, I need help with math," and I'm like, "Oh okay, just
Yeah,
text me." And
yeah, no problem. Do you come to the library often, or
uh, mm, not as often as I should, honestly.
you don't read too much, or?
Nah.
Got it, got it.
Yeah, he probably shouldn't be at the library at all. This guy's a total creeper, allegedly, of course, because we always have to throw that in there. But Alex, tell us a little bit about Mr. Tony, because he was just recently charged by the DOJ as well following this interview.
Yeah, so Tony was messaging who he thought was an 11-year-old girl. Very quick to want to meet up. Very quick to. He did not show his own thing to us, but he found one off the internet and he sent one of those to us. And he wanted. He was very sexual with her, and he met our live decoy at the library, wanted to go back to his house, and yeah, I talked to him. He agreed to talk to me in the conference room. He admits to me that he was in fact going to have sex with her, that he's had underage kids, and the way he phrases it, of course, is that underage kids just send me nudes. I don't control that, but he admits to what the nudes are. He admits to looking at them and all that stuff. And he also was a karate instructor that gave kids private lessons in his own home. So I think the rabbit hole goes pretty deep with him. So anyway, after admitting to all of this, I think he thinks better of it, and then he kind of just walks off and goes home. And then we'd go to the station, turn him in. The cops at Fairport, New York, were very professional. They did a very, very good job taking up our evidence, and they told me that day they're going to try to push it up to the feds. So turns out that happened. And I really, really got to give Fairport PD a shout out. And while he was being investigated, a month later, another predator catching group gets Tony Rodrigo in April, named Nikki Sala from Pennsylvania. And he gets him at Tony's house this time, and Tony pretends to have a seizure. And oh, it was just hilarious. So, but it goes to show you that someone like Tony's never going to stop me. He gets caught twice in less than 2 months. I mean, unbelievable.
It truly is unbelievable. And when you read this article that's up on the DOJ's website right now, this individual is somebody who's using like little platforms that kids use often, looks like Roblox, and he's trying to communicate with minors on platforms like that, which is deeply concerning. But I believe, according to the DOJ, they said they caught him with 6 child pornographic images as well. Is that true?
Yeah, I would say he wasn't as child porn connected as a lot of the people we get are. He said it's more so the kids sending him the images rather than him being in groups with adults just trading it over and over. So it makes sense that he would quote unquote only have 6 rather than like hundreds just being in groups with other pedos. So that would make sense.
Alex, it's so infuriating that these people exist and they live amongst us, but we're glad that you're out there doing this work. To our audience, I want to remind you all: listen, none of this is possible, and local law enforcement's not going to do the work that we need them to do. Neither are the feds. They often pretend like they are, but they're not doing enough. So if you like the fact that people like Alex are going out there and they're catching these predators, you got to support their work. Head on over to Locals or their Twitter page and make sure you subscribe. I am a subscriber on both platforms. I truly believe in what you're doing, Alex. So again, folks, Locals and on X, that's where you're going to want to subscribe to. It's really important that you do just that. I often do join you on your Locals page and kind of go through all your footage to catch up on what you've been doing. So I highly recommend to our audience that you do it. Head on over right now. The link is in the description of this video. Alex, I know you're on the road again. You're going to catch some creeps again, and we greatly appreciate you for doing that. So thank you for joining me.
Thank you always, Brianna. It means the world.
You guys know I love a good sale, and when I find one, I've got to brag to you about it because, folks, that's what I do. I love a good sale at the shop. So let me tell you about a good sale I just ran up on. It's over at mypillow.com. This is the best sale that I've actually ever seen on mypillow.com because right now, when you use promo code BREE, when you spend $100, you're going to get $100 back in free digital gifts. I've never seen an offer like that before. Plus, there's all of these incredible items on sale. Plus, my go-to favorite, those Giza bed sheets. They're on sale right now, and I am loving every second of it. It's not just that. He just recently also released new energy drinks that don't use caffeine. Folks, caffeine's so bad for you. You got to try what Mike Lindell has up right now over at mypillow.com because you're not going to want to miss out on this. You're not going to want to miss out on this. When you head over to mypillow.com, use promo code BREE. That's promo code BRE to save. It is the best promo code available right now. And like I just told you, those Giza bed sheets are on sale, and I do need a new set, so I'm going to snag some for myself. Again, folks, mypillow.com. Use promo code BRE. That's promo code BRE. You're going to get that free $100 in digital gifts when you spend $100. So now's the time to do so. Head over to mypillow.com. Use code BRE.